Okay, good morning students. In the last session we discussed that how the ovum a secondary oocyte is formed. So due to the meiosis 1, the secondary oocyte and first polar body is formed, and later that it stops temporarily. So after formation of secondary oocyte, so then the at the metaphase of the meiosis 2, then it stops. So whenever that ovum is formed from the secondary oocyte means when the sperm enters into the female tract, only the secondary oocyte is develops into ovum or egg, and during that process again one more polar body is formed. So now we will see the structure of ovum, human female ovum, or it is known as egg. So here the size of the human ovum is about 0.1 millimeters, okay, or it is 100 micrometers. So this is the size of the egg or ovum. And here if you see the structure of the ovum, there are different layers are present, and first layer, that means innermost layer, inner to outer, if I will say that, the first membrane is known as plasma membrane or egg membrane, or so total all the membranes are generally known as egg membranes. Then the innermost layer is known as plasma membrane or white line membrane. So this is the term which we are using for the plasma membrane of the egg. So that is white line membrane because it is present around the yolk. So that's why it is known as white line membrane. And here this plasma membrane is formed by the, or it is developed by the cell itself. So it is formed by cell. So that means formed by the egg. And just below that plasma membrane, so there is a cytoplasm. And here it is known as peripherally. So there is a thin cytoplasm is present, and this is known as egg cortex. It is known as egg cortex. So cytoplasm is distributed into two different regions. So peripheral region and central region. The peripheral region, the cytoplasm is thin. That means very light or less amount of cytoplasm is present. Then that region is known as egg cortex. And then centrally there is dense cytoplasm, that means very thick cytoplasm is present. Then this is the center of the, or it is yolk or central cytoplasm. Central cytoplasm, and in egg it is known as ooplasm. So it is known as ooplasm. So this is the cytoplasm just beneath the egg membrane, plasma membrane or white light membrane. And here the next layer after the that means outer to the white line membrane, there is another membrane which is known as zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. So this membrane is non-cellular. Non-cellular. It is just like a jelly-like layer, but the cells are absent in this layer, and it is formed by the follicular cells. And we know that the oocytes are surrounded by the follicles. So like a Graafian follicles and that follicular cells forms this layer, that is second layer, and that is known as zona pellucida. So it is formed by follicular cells. This layer is secreted by, so we can say, because it is a non-cellular layer, so this layer is secreted by follicular cells. And the third layer is corona radiata. The third layer is corona radiata. It is a outermost layer, and this cell, it is a cellular layer. So cellular layer means it is a cellular layer, and this cells of this layer, outermost layer, are radiating. So radiating means this arrangement. So radiation all over the, see, that means in all directions the cells are radiating. So and this is known as the corona radiata. So it is outermost layer and cells are radiating. And this layer is made up of follicular cells. This cells are, that means the outermost layer corona radiata, the cells are made up of follicular cells, and zona pellucida is secreted by follicular cells and it is made up of follicular cells. That is the difference. And here if you will see inside the ovum, and this is known as nucleus, or it is known as germinal vesicle. So it is also known as, here I will write, germinal vesicle. And there is a haploid, and which is most important for the fertilization, that nucleus is present eccentric. Eccentric means at one side, towards one side, not exactly in the center. So at one side the nucleus is located and other organelles are present in the center of the cell. So other organelles like Golgi complex, microtubules, other mitochondria, other all cell organelles are located in the center, but the nucleus is located towards one side, one direction. So that location, that position is known as eccentric. So it is very important, the location of the nucleus in the egg cell, that is eccentric, so towards one side, and it is not exactly in the center of the cell. And here on the basis of the position of the nucleus, here the size of the egg cell is named by two names. So that is this direction where the nucleus is present. So that side of the egg is known as animal pole. Animal pole. See, here is the nucleus. So this side of the egg is known as animal pole. And opposite to here. So this is the opposite side. So this is the opposite side of the animal pole. And that is known as vesical pole. Vesical pole. So what exactly the sides of the egg or poles of the egg means? There are two poles. One is animal pole and another one is vesical pole. Animal pole means the side where the nucleus is located, and vesicle pole opposite side to the animal pole. So where the nucleus is not present or opposite to the nucleus. So that side is vesicle pole. And always the sperms enters in the animal pole. So from the animal pole only the sperms enters. So where it easily reaches to the nucleus. So that's why always the sperms enters through the animal pole direction only. So this is about the structure of ovum or egg. So here briefly I will repeat once again. There are three membranes. One is plasma membrane or White-Line membrane, which is an innermost layer and developed from the cell or developed by the cell. And the second layer or middle layer is known as zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. And the third layer, which is an outermost layer, is known as corona radiata. And it is a cellular layer which is made up of follicular cells, and zona pellucida is a non-cellular layer which is secreted by the follicular cells. And here one more thing is the space between White-Line membrane and zona pellucida. So the space which is located between the White-Line membrane and zona pellucida, and this space is known as peri-White-Line space. It is known as peri-White-Line space. Peri-White-Line space. So in this space the mucopolysaccharides are present and other proteins, enzymes are present in this peri-White-Line space. So what is peri-White-Line space? Means it is the space between the plasma membrane and zona pellucida, or White-Line membrane and zona pellucida. Between the two layers there is a space which is known as peri-White-Line space, and which contains different types of substances like mucopolysaccharides, proteins, enzymes and all. And we will see that what are the types of egg membranes. So generally, not only in human beings, so generally there are mainly three types of egg membranes are present. Three types of egg membranes. That means on the basis of from where they are formed, on that basis there are three types of egg membranes are present. So the first one is primary membrane. Primary membrane. So primary membrane means the layer which is formed by the cell. See, for example, if it is a muscle cell, the muscle cell forms the plasma membrane, or if it is a egg cell, the White-Line membrane is formed by the egg cell itself. So it is formed by the cells itself. That is known as primary membrane. Example for these layers is White-Line membrane. So the first type of layer, White-Line membrane. So this is the first layer or primary membrane which is formed by the cells. So for that type of layers, the example is White-Line layer. And the second one is secondary membrane. Secondary membrane. So secondary membrane is secreted by or made up of follicular cells secreted by or made up of follicular cells. So example for this is, so here we mentioned that Zona pellucida is secreted by follicular cells. So this we can give the example for that. And corona radiata, which is made up of follicular cells. So this one also we can give the example for this. So here the examples for this is Zona pellucida and corona radiata. Corona radiata. So this is the second type of egg membrane. And the third type is tertiary membrane. Tertiary membrane. So tertiary membrane is formed by the glands or oviduct. Glands or oviducts. That is the tertiary membrane, but this tertiary membrane is absent in egg cells of the human beings, but it is present in the amphibian eggs, reptile eggs and birds eggs. So example for this is shell membrane. Shell membrane. So where the shell is present, in that shell membrane is formed by the glands or oviducts. So that is the tertiary membrane. So on the basis of the layer from which it is formed, the membranes are of three types. The egg membranes are three types. One is primary membrane, which is formed by the cells, and secondary membrane, which is secreted by or made up of by the follicular cells, and tertiary membrane, which is formed by the or secreted by the glands or by the oviducts. Example, shell membrane. So these are the types of three types of egg membranes. And next we will see the types of the ovum or types of the eggs. Types of ova or eggs. So in the first classification is on the basis of amount of yolk present in the egg. So how much of amount of yolk is present in the egg, on that basis the eggs are of different types. So in that the first type is alecital eggs. So alecital eggs means the amount of yolk is very less, or sometimes it is absent. So alecital, A for absence of yolk. So but no eggs are there with absence of yolk, but here it is considered to be that very less amount, it is a negligible amount of yolk is present. So that is alecital, negligible amount. Or yolk is absent, simply we can say that. Example for this type of alecital eggs are Eutherian mammals. Eutherian mammals like monkeys, apes, or primates, non-primates also. So there, the eutherian mammals, a lethal type of eggs are present, and the second type is microlethal. Very less amount of yolk is present. Less amount of yolk is present, and example, human beings. So human being eggs are a type of microlethal, and the third type is mesolethal. Mesolethal eggs. So mesolethal eggs means here moderate amount of. So not very much amount of yolk or not very less amount of yolk, but it is a moderate amount of yolk. Example for this is amphibian eggs like a frog, salamander. These eggs are a type of mesolethal eggs. So here amphibian eggs example. And then the fourth type and the of course last type, that is macrolethal or megalethal. So this is a very large amount of yolk is present in these types of eggs. So large amount of. Large amount of yolk is present in this type of eggs. So example for this is birds eggs and reptile eggs. So reptilian eggs. And of course the amount of yolk is depend upon the either the animal is oviparous or viviparous. So how the fertilization takes place and as well as how the development of embryos takes place. Either it is outside the body or inside the body. On that basis the amount of yolk is present in the eggs. So on that basis of amount of yolk, the eggs are mainly 4 types. So that is alethal, microlethal, mesolethal and megalethal or macrolethal. But when we come to the human being eggs, so in sometimes it is said that alethal or in sometimes it is microlethal. Reason is, so in human being eggs is also there is a some amount of yolk is present. So but here for these two there is negligible amount of yolk or less amount of yolk. So this is similarly we can use the terms human beings are either alethal or microlethal, but in most of cases we mention when we come to the human being eggs it is microlethal. But no confusion in that. So when we are talking about the human egg, it is a type of microlethal. And the second type of classification is on the basis of the distribution of yolk. So on the basis of distribution of yolk. So here again there are different, that means inside the egg where the yolk is exactly present and how the yolk is distributed throughout the egg. So that is here on that basis again the eggs are of different types. The first type is isolecythal. Isolecythal or homolecythal. Isolecythal or homolecythal. So here what it means in the egg the yolk is equally distributed. That means evenly it is distributed. See, if it is the egg, so all over the egg the yolk is distributed evenly. So that type of eggs are known as isolecythal or homolecythal. Example for this is, so it is evenly distributed yolk is present. Evenly distributed yolk is present. So example for this is prochordates, and echinoderms. Prochordates and echinoderms. Now who is this dance, you know? Please unmute your audio and video. Then Girish Reddy. Girish. Unmute your audio, please. Prochordates and echinoderms. And the second type of eggs is heterolecythal. Heterolecythal. Here unequally distributed or unevenly distributed yolk is present. So that means one side it is more and one side it is completely absent, or yolk is only centrally located or centrally distributed. So unevenly all over the egg the yolk is distributed, and that is the heterolecythal. And it is again of different types. So in that the first type is telolecythal. Telolecythal egg means the yolk is concentrated only one half of the egg. See, if it is an egg, the yolk is distributed only one side, one half of the egg. So here, like this, and remaining of there is no yolk. So this type of eggs are known as telolecythal eggs. An example for this is amphibian eggs. Amphibian eggs. And the second type of heterolecythal is centrilecythal. Centrilecythal eggs. So that means the yolk is centrally located. So here, this is all yolk, and peripherally the cytoplasm is distributed. But in the center, exactly in the center, the yolk is distributed. So this type of eggs are known as centrilecythal eggs. So example for this is some eukaryotes. And the third type in this is discoidal or discolecythal eggs. So discolecythal eggs means the discoidal, that means the yolk is distributed all over the cell but leaving a disc shaped sweep except in this region, except in that region the entire egg is distributed by the yolk, but it's leave a disc shape, so it is there is no yolk. This type of eggs are known as discoidolecythal or discolecythal eggs. So example for this is birds and reptiles. Birds and reptiles. So these are the types of eggs on the basis of distribution of yolk. One is isolecythal or homolecythal, so which evenly distributed, and heterolecythal, unevenly distributed. Again it is of different types, so like telolecythal, centrilecythal and discolecythal types of eggs. And the last type of classification in this is on the basis of presence of shell, presence or absence of shell. So on this basis the eggs are of two types. One is cleidoic eggs, and the second type is non-cleidoic eggs. Non-cleidoic eggs. In the cleidoic eggs, so the egg membranes are surrounded by shell. That means in this type of eggs, the shell is present around the egg membranes. So this type of eggs are, if shell is present, those are cleidoic eggs. If shell is absent, those are non-cleidoic eggs. So here shell is present and here shell is absent. An example for this is well-known examples, that is birds' eggs and reptiles, where the shell is present, and for these examples is human eggs. Human eggs. So here now if we will conclude that what is the type of human eggs or human ovum is, it is a type of, on the basis of amount of yolk, it is a type of microlecythal. Microlecythal. On the basis of distribution of yolk, it is heterolecythal, that is centrolecythal. So because when we discussed with structure of ovum, I clearly told that. So in the center of the cell there is a dense cytoplasm where the yolk is present. So that is centrolecythal type of eggs, and on the basis of presence or absence of shell, the human egg is non-cleidoic egg. Non-cleidoic egg. So this is a type of human ovum or human egg. So it is a microlecythal, centrolecythal and non-cleidoic type of egg is present in the human females. So this is about the structure of ovum. Okay, so the next we see that another event in the human females, so that is menstrual cycle. So what is the menstrual cycle? It means the cyclic changes occur in the endometrium of the uterus. So that means the cyclically the endometrium degenerates and regenerates. So that cyclic changes occur in the endometrium. So innermost wall of the uterus is an endometrium of the uterus is known as menstrual cycle, and these cyclic changes occur so every month or 28 on average. So it is about 28 days once the menstrual cycle occurs in the human beings. So this menstrual cycle mainly is a characteristic feature of the primates. So that is monkeys, apes and human beings. So in these primates, the menstrual cycle is a characteristic feature, and here the menstrual cycle starts with the menarche. So menarche means at the puberty stage of the females. So then the menstrual cycle, the first menstrual cycle starts. So then that is known as menarche. The first menstruation is known as menarche, and this menarche starts at the age of 11 to 14 years in girls. So it is about 11 to 14 on average. So it is about 11 to 14 years in girls. It is again depends upon the hormonal balancing. So and the nutrition, so how the nutrient rich food and also hormones. So these all are influenced when the menarche starts. And this menstrual cycle is applied to the cyclic changes. So because these cyclic changes are repeated at every month, so it is average about 28 days. So that means menses. Menses means, this is the Latin word which means month, and it is indicated by the menstrual flow through vagina. And one more feature of this menstrual cycle is the endometrium is degenerates. So endometrium is degenerates, and along with this endometrium, then it is supplied with a large number of blood vessels. So that blood vessels also ruptured, and that blood plus this endometrium. So it forms a fluid. So endometrium degenerates, and that endometrium pieces plus blood, it forms a fluid, and that fluid is flowed through the vagina. And this menstrual cycle is completed in, or it is consists of mainly 4 phases. The first one is menstrual flow. Menstrual flow. Then the second one is follicular phase. Menstrual phase and follicular phase. Then the third phase is ovulatory phase, and the fourth phase is luteal phase. So these are the four phases of menstrual cycle: menstrual phase, follicular phase, then ovulatory phase and luteal phase. So in the next session we will discuss what exactly these phases occur. CPH 1937. Okay.